Greetings, everyone. I'm Reverend Deborah Johnson, known as Rev D, and welcome. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries, to our virtual gathering that we have where we come together from across the country, from different countries, to awaken from that hypnotic trance. We're not marching to the drumbeat of the world anymore, where we remember the truth of who we are as spiritual beings. And I'm so glad that you're here, regardless of the date or the time, regardless of whether this is your first time ever with us or whether you've been with us for decades. We know that now is the right time. And we welcome you. We see you. We support you in your own unique journey, knowing that there's only one place to go, and that's to the divine. I call it God. You can call it whatever it is that you call it. But at the end of the line, that's all that there is. So we can reach it at the Himalayas, mountaintops, and we can find it down in the gutter, but there is no place else. So I say thank you for allowing the labyrinth of your life to intersect with all of ours at this particular moment. We are all students and teachers of each other. Today, we're going to be talking about the ever expanding yes that is within us. Okay. And this yes, as we'll be talking about, is not only happening on a personal level, but it's happening on a collective level as well. The same principles, the same um, universal truths that exist can't be compartmentalized. They're not just for certain aspects of our life. The same thing that works in relationships works in economics. It works in health issues. It works at the macro level for global relations, and it works at the personal level of what's going on inside our own house. You know, our house, White House, courthouse, it's all the same principles everywhere. So, as you're listening to this, as you're grappling with these things, I really want you to ask yourself, what does this mean? What does this mean? If I apply this in my health, what happens? If I apply this in my finances, what happens? If I apply this in my politics, my spiritual journey, what does it mean? What does it mean? Okay. So at Inner Light, we believe in oneness. We are all about the pure embodiment of that, not as some theoretical construct. So we believe in that. We try to embody this spiritual oneness. We appreciate all of the individualized expressions, the way that you show up uniquely as you. And we honor all the paths that lead toward the spiritual truth that I was just speaking about, that lead towards social justice, that lead towards environmental sustainability and regeneration. Okay. It's all together, kind of like water. It's wet, it's clear, it's fluid. You can't really separate those things because it comes as an all. And such as it is with us, it comes as an all. There's the oneness, the way we're all connected. There are individual paths that we're taking that may look a little bit different than the others, but ultimately it's all going to the same big universal place. And then there's the individual person of what it is that we're doing along this way and how all of these universal principles get applied in our own lives. So we're here talking about the full gestalt of all of that. Amongst these tools that we offer every week that help us to embody these universal spiritual principles are affirmative activation. Okay, 100 words every week, exactly 100 words. They are paradigms and precepts and perspectives. They're practices. There's things to actually like do. And I guarantee you, if you have the courage to come back, to, we're going to go over them in a moment, but come back, really sit with them, embody them. The only way that things ever get embodied is through repetition. So even if you just choose one particular aspect of it, I guarantee you, if you let it root, if you let it find a resting place in your heart, it will bear fruit that is ever so sweet. First the roots, though, okay, then the fruits. So if you're able to, I want to invite you to say these affirmations along with me as they appear on your screen. The enormity of my yes grows larger every day. The depth of my surrender expands in every way. Yielding to my inner calling, I let go and transform. No longer clinging to people, places, and things, I'm free to be me. With more graciousness and less drama, I release what is complete. With less hesitation and more courage, I embrace what is next. I allow the divine to enlarge my territory of transformation. I welcome opportunities to heal, learn, and grow. I assume full responsibility for my errors and gladly make amends. This is the dawning of my new day. Soak in the power of that for a moment. Allow yourself to be with it. Keep breathing it in. Allow your attention to just zero in on a particular line, something that may be calling to you. The depth of my surrender expands in every way. Or perhaps it's, I assume full responsibility for my errors and gladly make amends. Maybe it's, with more graciousness and less drama, I release what is complete. There's something that's calling you. And I invite you to come back to this. Share it with your friends. Come back to it. And really, really allow the focus of your attention and your actions to put it into play. Yes. Okay. So let's take a breath. We're talking today about our ever expanding yes. And we're going to be bringing in somebody from our community virtually. We've been doing this so that we can just continue to share this journey and this path with each other. So I'm inviting in Noel Murphy. Come on in, Noel.
Hi.
Hey there, and tell us where you're coming in from.
I am here in the beautiful Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan, about a mile from Lake St. Clair, and just right here on Detroit, where everything's exciting.
Very good. Well, we're so glad to have you with us.
Thank
I
you.
know you've been a long time participant and part of our community for decades now. And I say thank you for that support. And I know that you know a lot about the ever expanding yes. I personally and Inner Light has had an opportunity to do that walk in yes with you.
Yeah.
on different projects and different things.
You're in 3 award-winning documentaries that I wrote, produced, directed, and narrated. And your presence is stabilizing for the other guests sometimes too, and what they're saying.
Thank you.
When they want to say the ever expanding yes, but maybe would like some help. Like, could somebody please put words in my mouth? To me, yes is a basic evolutionary position. If I think about it, science, because my area of study has been Buckminster Fuller, as you know, and some folks, but I believe yes is an evolutionary position. We're born with enough nutrients to feed the process of expansion, and like you talk about these principles, and Bucky Fuller used to love to call them the immutable principles. And there's people like it would be like how many card-carrying communists are, there's 800 million, generalized principles, but we only need to get really clear about just like a few of them, and we can actually play hooky. The rest will take care of themselves.
It is. And will you share a little bit about, as you've gone along, what you personally find sometimes as the challenges that come up for us about letting this yes expand within us?
You mean other than being full of crap? I knew I could get you to laugh, but it's also, there's a partial trueness, which is, what am I saying yes to is a decision. Yes. They say that suicide, to cut is to cut, separate. So when I'm cutting away from a no, which is a survival mechanism, and how somebody might feel powerful, the power of no is giving up manipulating people. The power of that, the power of saying yes is vulnerability. And the clearer that I am on that, I ain't playing that other game. Like, I don't know what game I am playing a lot, but I'm not playing that game. And to me, that's the ever expanding yes, because when I have that realization, I could go back to sleep.
Yes.
Or I could also stay up all night and wonder. And one of my mentors, who I've talked to you about, Randy Revell, he said, I want to create joy and wonder for people while simultaneously being very clear with them about what I want them to do. And we got the joy and wonder people, and we got the I want you to. So the yes and no people seem to be this weird margin, and we need to expand that ever. And I've got a good plan, and the bus will be by to pick y'all up, and we're going to go there. By the way, I want to say thank you. Right in this little book right here, it says, thank you to a number of people. It's Bucky Biz, which you know about, which you've helped coach me on. And I got off the phone with Dr. Temple Grandin, one of my mentors, and talked to you almost right after that. It was just like a half an hour between calls or something. And between the two of you, this book transformed, lost 100 pages. And part of it is the coordinates. You don't cut corners with the principles. Because the same way you don't put a rake down on the lawn with the prongs sticking up, because what happens? Whack, every time. And I listened to you in the early days, and I'm like, I think I can get around some of what she's saying. And then as time goes by, you're like, I really don't like her much today, and then I'm in love with Rev D, which you've heard that a lot, because like people are in love with you. And then it's like, look, you said I'll be who you need me to be. You promised that you don't ever let anybody down. So the ever expansive yes is also for the teachers, because their yes can't be bogged down by trauma and an inability to self-regulate. And I'm guilty of self-regulation. Like, I'm guilty of that. Like, I would rather, flush the punch bowl than like be formal, and that gets me in trouble. But the yes is saying, no, you need to bring more leadership. You're not just a kid. These are tools you've been given. So it's like the yes for me is a responsibility, but it also means I'm not burdened by the limitations of no.
Amen. Well, all right. You've set the stage for us. You've given us a lot to think about, and I trust that people are inspired by the things that that you're saying and the things that we're all doing. I really, really appreciate you coming in and joining us.
I appreciate that. And, it's the individual, and we look inside, because it's an inside job first, I think. And that's also where the glory is, the feeling of rapture of knowing that you're that close to something so beautiful that some people call God.
Yep. Thank you, Noah.
Thank you, Rev D.
Thank you. It's wonderful. And just listening to him, it makes me laugh. A few weeks ago, I did a presentation at Harvard Divinity School, and the curator of the program, one of my colleagues, Reverend Kevin Ross, introduced me as his mentor and sometimes his tormentor. And I had to laugh about that when I was studying to become a minister and first a lay minister as a practitioner. My former pastor, Dr. Daniel Morgan, used to tell us that as spiritual leaders and counselors, that our job was to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. That was our job. And it fits right in with our topic today about an ever expanding yes. An ever expanding yes. I'm talking about the yes. I'm talking about the sacred yes. I'm not talking about an agreement to something on the back end. I am talking about an internal vibration that is in complete alignment, complete resonance with the truth of our being, with our divinity. This yes is an inside job. Okay. It's at the front end, not the back. Just let that sink in for a moment. This is where we get it all wrong. We look out upon the world, the circumstances, the conditions. We try to figure out whether we agree with it or not, or how much we want to align with it or not. And then our yes becomes some kind of concurrence with that. But it's reactionary. See, it's responsive. It doesn't set the tone. It just makes a decision afterwards whether it's going to collude with, amplify, or multiply something else. But I'm talking about an internal yes. I'm talking about that certain something, that spark of divinity within you that knows, and it knows that it knows. Okay. It is not confused. It's not confused. It's beyond, it's transcendent of the stuff that's going on in the world. Okay, listen to what I'm saying. We are not the stuff. We are transcendent of the stuff. The things that are going on, the relationships, the career, the health issues, the social political environment, our various identities and family structures, and all the rest of that stuff. It's a context. It's a context. It's like the stage that the play is on. Okay? It's an arena. Don't let the context become your content. Okay? That's not the stuff of our life. We have a life that is transcendent of all of that. It's playing out in all these different arenas, but we're not the arena. We're not the script. That who we are is bigger and greater than all of that. I'll often say that your greatness is right on the other side of your no. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. It really is. If you're able to, I want you to do a little exercise with me right now. Okay. We're going to say the word no 3 times, and then we're going to say the word yes 3 times with a lot of gusto. If you're able to do it. And if you can't say it out loud because, you're someplace, people are around or whatnot, say it in your mind and you'll get some of the same effect. Okay. So we're going to say no 3 times. No, no, no. just notice what you feel with that. Okay. And then we're going to turn it around. Yes. 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 Just notice the difference in your body with just a couple of seconds. Okay. That no felt restricted and constricted. Okay. There was a way that you felt a little diminished. And with the energy of that yes, boom, you started to feel more alive, more energetic, more a sense of greater possibility. Okay. And notice, we weren't saying no to anything in particular. It wasn't no to a particular concept. It wasn't yes to a particular proposition. It was just the energy and the vibration of what it means to be in that ever expansive consciousness of yes. We're verbs. We're not just nouns. We're not just entities. We are verbs. We're energetic fields. Life is not happening at us. It's happening as us. Okay. In, through, and as us. So think about this for a moment. This may sound like a whole bunch of like metaphysical mumbo jumbo. Think about it. I know growing up, they used to refer to it as a person's countenance. Sometimes you can hear people refer to it as like an aura. You might hear the term energy field, or somebody may say the vibe. I like that person's vibe, or the opposite. I don't know, but it just, dude gives me the creeps. And I don't know. There's just something about him. Okay. Or that, I don't know. That, so and so comes around and you just want to smile. Just something about him. Or here comes that old curmudgeon again. There comes Sourpuss, just raining on the parade. Your energy field, your countenance, your aura, whatever it is that you want to call it, isn't like just within your body temple. It's not just what you're harboring in your heart or what you're thinking in your mind. It emits a frequency for everybody else to see, to feel, to interact with. And here's the thing, it arrives before you do. Your quote unquote energy field, that whether you're living in yes or living in no, whether you are being a place of compassion or combativeness, you don't have to say anything. You don't even have to do anything. Just being around you, it becomes self-evident. And this isn't just on an individual level. There's a phrase that's become increasingly popular now: read the room. Did you read the room? When somebody seems to be so completely out of step with what the moment calls for, not reading or sensing the vibe or the energy of the people in the room. Okay, like were you reading that? And this is not to say that you have to collude with it. Sometimes a lot of times I'm very conscious of reading the room and going, you know what? There's way too much no in this room. This room needs some yes. Okay. There's way too much animosity, restriction, constriction, lack, limitation, consciousness up in here. This room needs some light. Okay. That's the difference between into and unto. See, when you step into something, you are aware of how you're going to be impacted by everything about it. Okay. And we go into things specifically for that. We go into educational programs. We go into relationships. We go into a lot of different kinds of things because we know we're going to be changed as a result of it. Unto is a little different. Okay. Unto is where the things around you shift and change because of what you've brought. Okay. Where you're not being reactionary to everything, but quite the contrary. You're bringing a spark of something that impacts everything else. So don't just step into the world, step unto it. Just like it explains in scripture and in all major traditions, it is done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you. That the attitudes, the beliefs, the narratives, the vibrational fields, that all of that stuff that you bring with you impacts everything around you and responds. Okay. We're not just victims sitting here where everything is happening at us. Quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. We are these energetic beings that's able to shift all the stuff around us. So take a breath. Take a breath. What does it take for us to get into this ever expanding yes? It takes a decision. It takes an intent up front before the things happen. This ever expanding yes is your commitment to the truth of your being. As it says in scripture, be not conformed to this age, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This isn't just the intellect, this is the heart as well. There's a lot of things we can do with form. We can inform, we can take it in. We can conform to go with it. We can reform, which is to kind of reshape it or move it around a little bit, or we can transform. See, to transform is to go above and beyond the previous forms. So when something is truly transformed, it can no longer be recognized for what it used to be. It's kind of like the classical journey as a metaphor of the caterpillar. From the caterpillar to the butterfly, that coded within the caterpillar is this next evolutionary step. It's called the imaginal cells, the imaginal cells. So these imaginal cells are within the caterpillar. So all the caterpillar really has to do is just give consent. But this yes, listen to what I'm saying. It's the yes to the transformation at every step along the way. So it means yes to fully being a caterpillar when it's time to be the caterpillar. It means yes to releasing being the caterpillar when that phase and stage is complete. But we don't just jump from being the caterpillar to the butterfly. Okay? There's a metamorphosis process that's in between where there's a meltdown. Okay? It just goo. And that is so unsettling to us as human beings to go through the meltdown. Like the alchemy process that happens with fire. You know, matter is neither created nor destroyed, it only changes form. So, like all the gold that's ever going to be is already here. And it may go from being a gold bar to a ring to a watch, but it's the same gold that just keeps shifting and changing. And so it is with us. That we don't get different energy to do good or do bad. It's just a question of how is it being directed? So this caterpillar says yes to the metamorphosis. It says yes to my greater yet to be, which is going to include letting go of being the caterpillar and allowing myself a chance to be in this undifferentiated state. It means not getting attached to any of it. That my yes has to be greater than being a caterpillar. My yes has to be greater than the metamorphosis. That my yes has to be able to fulfill and to occupy that space of the butterfly that's just as much me. It's just as much me. So it's the yes to all of it. That's an ever expanding yes. You say, well, I'm real comfy being a caterpillar. What if I don't want to change? I'm real comfy being a seed. What if I don't want to change? See, the seed that clings to being a seed will never fulfill its great purpose in life. Let that sink in for a moment. The seed that clings to being a seed exclusively will never fulfill its great purpose. So this ever expanding yes, and notice what I'm saying here. It's an expansion. It isn't that yes was bad or that yes was wrong. That time to shift and change doesn't mean the caterpillar was bad or that the caterpillar was wrong. Okay. It's just time. It's just time for what's next. The universe doesn't stand still. Everything is in constant motion. I don't care what it is, even the Rock of Gibraltar is sinking little bit every year. Nothing just stays the same. So, yes, in order to get the benefits of all of the shifts, of all of the changes, of all of the transformations, the yes has to be on the front end. Too many of us do. One of my colleagues, Reverend Melissa Felipe, created a song a couple of decades ago called Kicking and Screaming Down the Path of Transformation. And that's what a lot of us do. Okay. But in that kicking and screaming, as we're going down the path of transformation, we're moving more and more into our yes, more and more into the yes. I know I've done it with my own life, and I've had no doubt that you've done it in your life, because this is just the way that it is. It happens with us personally, and it happens with us collectively. Okay? As a nation, we started as the caterpillar. A lot of promise in there. The societal imaginal cells right in there. But in order to fulfill our promise, just like the caterpillar, we have to transcend. We can't just continue to be what we were, or just be slugging around on the ground, and we'll never take flight. There's something within us that is a promise up to something higher. And just because you never quite live up to the promise at any particular moment in time, don't stop. Don't stop. Don't get into judgment. And just as it is with our personal lives, so it is on the collective societal level. We are in meltdown. Okay? We're in the goo. Goo is good. We're in the metamorphosis. Okay? And when you're in that goo, it can be like, what the F? You can't be what you were. You haven't quite arrived at where you're gonna be. There's a part of you that might be uncomfortable and say, hey, you know what? Life was a whole lot better as this caterpillar. This goo is too, let me get back to the safety. Let me get back to what I knew. Let me get back to when I was in control. Let me get back to when our group was on top. Let me get back to where it didn't seem to be threatened by a whole bunch of change. But news flash, there's no going back. Nothing can ever go back. It's against nature. Nothing in nature goes back. It may recreate, it may regenerate, but it's the birthing of the new. It's saying yes to what is next. Nature is in an ever expanding yes. In quote unquote real time, we're just entering into the springtime, which is the perfect metaphor of this. Okay. The spring isn't holding a grudge against the winter. It's not holding a grudge against the fall for the leaves having fallen or when it looked like it was naked and barren. No, 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 no. The tree is not staying in mourning over that which was complete that fell off. It's in the limbs. It's the most extraordinary thing. You know, watching it now in those limbs that looked bare, bing, life is coming out. Bing, those imaginal cells, bing. And such it is with our lives. Such it is with our lives. If we stay in the ever expanding yes, not an ever expanding no, not an ever expanding maybe, if or when. No, no. Everything multiplies. Everything multiplies. So we want to recalibrate to that energy of yes. It's already within us. We recognize it. We affirm it. And just give it your consent. I just need your consent. It's kind of like getting in the roller coaster and you just buckle up. Okay. You're not in control of the speed. You're not in control of the zip and the turns, the ups and the downs and all that. Just stay in the cab. Okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to come out at the other end. Just stay in it. Okay. Your yes is your agreement to ride the ride all the way through. The baby's birthing. We're birthing the next phase of this nation. We're birthing the next phase of the world. The head is crowning. That mother has got to say yes. Okay, this is not the time to curse getting pregnant or the drama or was I making the right decision? It's crowning. Breathe with it. Breathe with it. Breathe with it. Say yes. That's where we are right now. And I invite you into this place of the ever expanding yes. Let's take a breath and we're going to take this to prayer. Breathe. In God, in the divine, we live and we move and we have our being. There is nothing outside of the infinite, not a spot where God is not, where any of it is, all of it is. because it comes in one size all. There's not more love in one country than another country. There's not more music in one city than another city. There's not more joy in one generation than another generation. All of it is equally available all the time. Just like with the music, if we all sang simultaneously, we couldn't use it up. If we all love simultaneously, we can't use up the love. Because it is an infinite supply. And that's what we say yes to. We say yes to our connection to the infinite supply. Create in us a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within us. We will our will to be the divine will, so there is only one will. Let go of the resistance, the hesitations, the reservations, the restrictions, the constrictions. We lay them down. We lay our troubles down by the riverside and study war no more. We turn the swords into plowshares. Extend the olive branch. We live in a world of peace because peace is who we be. We're looking for, we're looking with, we're not chasing after it. We are the health. We are the abundance and the prosperity. We are the justice. We are the equality. We are the freedom. We are the love. Can we just say yes? All the ways that shifts and changes and morphs and grows and transforms within us. We pray the prayer of all needs met in our life, in the lives of everyone, even so-called adversaries. We pray that everyone be safe and whole, fully actualized up to their greatest spiritual potential. That every belly be full. That every body be clothed. That every head have a roof over it. Clean water, clean air. Freedom of movement. This and so much more. Thank you for the healing of the body temple, for the healing of our financial bodies, for the healing of our body politic. Just living in the yes. Living in the yes. This is our dwelling place. In it we live, we move, we have our being. We surrender all. All. And allow it to be. So it is. Amen. We're praying community here. Let us speak the word for you. We're prayer practitioners that have been training literally for years to hold that spot. Reach out. Reach out. You'll see that the information is scrolling across your screen right now. You can reach us through our prayer line, by telephone, at 831-465-9090 at extension 254. You can send us an email at the number 4 and the word prayer at innerlightministries.com. Yes, 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 yes. And even if it's something good, you just want two or more to stand together with you for its divine right unfoldment. Let us stand with you in community. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. It's no charge. Of course, donations are always gladly accepted to help us expand this work that we do and to help sustain it. But there's no reason not to. No barrier, nothing in your way. Just reach out. Take a breath. And speaking of reaching out, you can check us out on our calendar, the numerous things that are going on and that are happening. If you're looking at this in real time, and every first Sunday of the month, we have a gathering at Inner Light Ministries, and we have the gathering in our at the Resource Center for Nonviolence. That's in the Santa Cruz area on Ocean Street there, and we're there from 3 to 5 p.m. We are there every first Monday. We have music and fellowship and refreshments and prayer and song and dance and have a really, really good time. We'll be streaming that as well. So that would be later on today. And Kim Clark is going to be there today speaking for that. And I say thank you to Kim for holding the space in that. Thank you for all of you who participated with us last week at Easter time. We had a really, really, really great time. And thank you to Temple Bethel for sharing their sanctuary with us. So much going on, including our food bank that still continues at noon on Thursdays, housed at the Santa Cruz Bible Church now, pushing out thousands of pounds of food free. Okay, so you can avail yourselves of that. Yes, 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 and more. Yes, our March tithe is going to the homeless services that we have in the Santa Cruz area. People trying to get on their feet, where we help people with a hand up, not just a hand out. Our February tithe went to Doctors Without Borders for international relief work that's happening around the world. So I want to say thank you to those of you who make that contribution. And you'll see on your screen that there are various ways in which you too are able to share of your time, your talents, and now here specifically of your treasures. You see there's a QR code there that you can use for a mobile device. You can use a credit card, debit card, or PayPal if you choose to do that. And there's a recurring option that's there, which allows for your donation to, at this same day of the month, every month, be automatically debited, so that if you're not here, you know that you're still able to contribute. If you are looking online, you'll see that there's a donate button right there. Perhaps you would like to use another app. You can use Cash App, $ Inner Light Ministries. But regardless of the methodology that you use, I want to say thank you, because we're an independent community, and every nickel, dollar, and dime is going towards our healing, transformative work. It's not a membership organization. So if you're blessed by this, if this is a message that you want to see get out in the world, please avail yourselves and make that contribution. We thank you for your support. And remember that your generosity returns to you. It returns to you. So I invite you to bless our tithes and our offerings right now, knowing that our every act produces abundance. We dare to give freely unto the truth that sets us free. We release this gift, knowing it returns to us 1,000-fold. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I invite you to subscribe, to join our YouTube subscription, contact us, share this, pass it on, come back, look at the affirmative activations so that we can do what our motto says, which is take this consciousness and multiply it. Peace and blessings to you, and we'll see you next time.